AITA for telling my brother why girls don't find him attractive. I, 20F, and my brother, 21M, currently attend university at the same school. We're pursuing similar majors, so we've had a few classes together already. We meet every once in a while to talk and go over notes together. I think my brother is nice, but lately he's been getting somewhat frustrated about not getting any dates with girls. I wouldn't consider my brother ugly, but I do think there are some features he has that needs adjusting if he wants to be more attractive. The other day he asked me how he can be more attractive to women and go on dates or get a girlfriend. I wouldn't call myself a relationship master or anything, but I've been in 2 relationships, which is 2 more than he's ever had. I didn't want to beat around the bush or say that he just needs more confidence or anything, because I believe that gives people false hopes sometimes. Confidence does go a long way, but personality and looks go just as far. I started with saying that his appearance isn't all that well kept. His hair is often greasy, his face is covered with acne, and I don't believe his haircut suited his face. I suggested maybe looking into growing out his hair more and learning how to style it. I offered to help with skincare because I know at least where to start regarding skin type. I also offered to help him shop for better shampoo and said he should get used to washing it more often. I also offered to help him shop for different clothes that look better than oversized jean shorts and a plain t-shirt. Then I moved on to his personality. My brother is kinda dense. For example, he asked my lesbian friend to prom multiple times even after they said they didn't like boys. He needs to understanding that when a person says no or makes an excuse, even if he thinks it's a dumb excuse, that he has to accept it. He also talks a lot about himself and can't hold a conversation well. In a date setting, you want to ask questions about your date and give them room to open up, maybe by asking deeper questions about their answers. He doesn't do that. I ended it by also stating that he needed better hobbies and things to talk about than his mobile games and Magic the Gathering. Are there many women who love gaming as well? Absolutely, but you need to have more going than talking about what new cards you got and what the latest edition is going to be. Maybe join a club or sport. Get more involved and find something more to do than school, work, and gaming. There needs to be healthy balance. It all boils down to, if you want to attract someone, then you need to become someone that people will find attractive. Well, after our meeting ended, we went our separate ways. I texted him earlier today asking if we could meet up again later this week. He left me on read for a few hours before saying that he didn't want to meet up with me for a while after what I said at our last meetup. Was I mean? Edit. Thank you for all the feedback. I'd wanted to give a very small update and answer some questions. I can see how I put that all on him at once, and that wasn't the right way to take it. I sent him a text outlining that I didn't mean to hurt him and I should have been kinder in what I said, or at least not say it all at once. I also reworded a few things of what I said. Many people mentioned how the hobbies thing was out of place. I agree that I definitely said it the wrong way. I meant more like he only talks about the same 3 games, MTG, D&D, and whatever mobile game he's currently playing, and that trying out different things could help broaden what he also talks about with other people. I was also meaning to say that at least being open to trying out other things would help in the future when he gets with someone, that he needs to be open to trying out things they enjoy doing. Finished off by stating that I'm sorry for dumping out so much and I meant it out of love. My parents got married young, 19 and 21, and my brother has expressed that not finding a girlfriend after coming back from his mission like my dad did has made him confused. We grew up Mormon, and a big part of encouraging young men to serve a mission is that when they come back, all the young women will be fawning over him. I also said that I wasn't expecting him to make a sudden change about everything, but to take it small. I'm still open to helping him fix part of his appearance if he ever decided he wanted to make the change. Some common questions I saw: did he actually mean a girlfriend or just hooking up? I know he meant girlfriend. I know my brother really well. He is a very religious man and wants a girlfriend, as he's also never had luck in high school. The hobbies part was uncalled for. I see what you mean. I typed this out best as I worded it to him. I did mean be more open and try out more hobbies so he had more to talk about. NTA, you gave him some pretty solid advice. Whether or not he wants to follow it is up to him. NTA, harsh maybe, but not mean. You offered constructive criticism and advice, not insults. It might take him a while to process that, though, because yeah, that's gotta sting. NTA, he needs to process. You could have done this in phases versus all at once. Lesson learned. I stole $20 from my stepfather in middle school, and it caused a fight between him and my aunt. For context, my stepdad is not technically my stepdad anymore, but a more specific title would be my brother's dad that has been in my life since I was in diapers. I don't particularly like the guy, but out of all the children he has, he seems to favor the one child that is not biologically his, me. When I was in the 7th grade, my school had an area in the cafeteria where the students could buy a bunch of snacks like ice cream, chips, sodas, and anything else that would entice our young selves to spend money. I have never been big on junk food, so I never cared to ask my mother for money to get anything. Middle schoolers are weird and they think the strangest things will make them cool, so when I saw all of my friends routinely lining up to enter the snack shack, I felt left out and uncool because I didn't have any snacks to eat. This led me to sheepishly ask one of my friends to buy me an ice cream so I didn't feel left out. Fast forward about a week, and I was at my grandma's house, stepdad's mother, for some family event. I was sitting in the passenger seat of my stepdad's truck since I hadn't gotten out yet after arriving, and I noticed he had a $50 bill just laying on the center console. Figuring I could use it for the snack shack, I swiped it and put it in my pocket before slipping out of the truck to go play with my cousins. About 3 hours later, my stepdad began going around to all the kids asking, practically accusing, them if they had stolen his money. They all said no, of course, but it seemed he wasn't going to ask me. I was generally a well-behaved kid that was very clearly afraid of authority figures, not the type you'd think would steal. After he gave up harassing the kids, he went to pick fights with the adults about it. Half of them were drunk, him included, so it inevitably led to a drunken fight between him and his sister, my step-aunt, which resulted in my other aunt driving me and my brothers home to our mom's house. The very next day, I put all $50 on my school account and bought all sorts of goodies throughout the week, most of which I ended up giving to my friends anyway because, as I said, I've never been big on junk food. I didn't feel so bad about it back then, but I was terrified of him finding out it was me. It's been years since then, and I feel terrible knowing it's what tipped my stepdad and his sister over the edge. It's turned into a full-blown rivalry. He's insistent that she stole his money, and she's insistent that she absolutely did not. They've been going at each other for years over this one incident. I know my stepdad favors me to the point where if I admit to him now that it was me who took the money, he wouldn't even be mad about it. But every time I go to admit it, I freeze up and can't. I don't know why. I know it's terrible and we're all older now, so I should just tell him to get it off my chest, but there's still that smug satisfaction from middle school me of getting away with stealing his money and spiting him. Like I said, I never really liked him, and even less so when I was younger. Thank you for listening. You were a kid and you made a stupid decision. You can't change that now. However, you are an adult now. It's way past time to right the wrong. Your aunt was unfairly accused. I love my brother, and if he accused me of stealing from him, it would hurt like hell. If you can't get the words out in person, then write them both a letter and apologize. Damn, $50 is all it took to destroy a sibling relationship? Chances seem likely it was already fractured and just needed any excuse to finish it off. Sorry for your experience though. Sounds like it was already a pain in the ass, long before you got to feel like a big shot for a few days. Honestly, I would have just put it back in his truck without letting anyone know after seeing all the chaos. It was really dumb of you to go ahead and spend it after what you had seen. Your stepdad doesn't even sound like a bad guy. Why you don't like him? AITA for canceling my brother's wedding? To make a novel short, my F27 brother, M30, met his future wife, F28 Ella, at a party 3 years ago. Honestly, we never got along, but I always tried to put up a peaceful front because my brother seemed blissfully happy with her. Ella was mean to me a lot. Like a lot. She would make comments about my weight, my makeup, and especially my dog. She hated animals and hated that I would bring my lab, Toast, to my parents' or my brother's house. It always just felt like something aimed to hurt me. When the two got engaged, she asked me to be her MOH since she has no sisters or many girlfriends, and since my brother seemed thrilled, I obliged. What I failed to realize when I accepted the role was that to her MOH meant planning the entire wedding. Like I was booking venues, florists, jazz band, everything. Even worse, she expected me to put my MY credit card down for all of it. My brother and her are not exactly well off, and since I have a well-paying job, I didn't mind holding the deposits, but it was starting to add up to a lot. Every time I asked Ella about it, she would say that it would all be paid back by her parents before the wedding. Well, flash forward to last week, about 3 weeks before the wedding, and she's unbearable to be around. She can't last more than a few sentences before snapping at anyone. So when I of course brought up the money, shit hit the fan. I asked if she had received the updated receipt of everything owed when she exploded. She called me a whole line of terrible names, but the one that stuck out was her saying, "What do you need the money for anyway? Your sick dog is dead now." My beautiful Toasty died about a month before this after he fought the bravest battle with cancer. He was my soul dog and I was devastated. I blinked at her and simply left the room, having no energy to even respond to something so cruel. I went back to my car and after the 20 silent minute drive home, I parked the car and immediately called the vendors and canceled any deposit under my card. Every single one. After almost 20 calls, all that was left of her wedding was the dress and the flower arch. I texted my brother a short explanation. I told him that every vendor would be contacting him if they wished to keep their services and they were now responsible for covering everything, and that I would no longer be attending. It was a matter of minutes before my phone started to explode and I just turned it off. It's been a few days and I haven't talked to anyone but my mom, who thankfully understands where I was coming from. My brother has tried to call, but I just feel terrible, both about what I did and about what she said. I know what I did was extreme, but I also couldn't sit by and practically enable her cruelty anymore. I still can't help but feel bad for ruining my brother's big day. So I don't know, am I the asshole for this? NTA. They were never going to pay you back. It's a good thing she showed how wicked she was before you got stuck with the bill. I'm sorry about your loss. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about what you did. They shouldn't be getting married if they don't have the money. If her parents were going to pay, they can put down their card for deposits. When you give family money, don't ever expect to get it back. NTA. Not even a little. First, MOH duties do not include planning the whole wedding and they certainly do not put down all the deposits and pay for the wedding. If you ask me, it sounds 100% like they were going to stiff you for the wedding. I don't believe for a minute her parents were paying for it. She was using us, and I can't believe your brother can't see the kind of person she is. And I'll tell you what, fucking with the memory of my dog, well, those are fighting words. I guess she fucked around and found out. NTA at all. She's cruel and awful, and they both suck for not paying you back. She would be dead to me and your brother too unless he came up with a breathtakingly spectacular apology. Nobody says crap about my dog and gets away with it. Thank you for standing up for Toasty and hitting the witch where it hurts. It's the least she deserves. What I'd like to know is just when did it become the MOH bridesmaid's job to plan the wedding? I had never heard of that until coming here to Reddit. Back in my day as MOH or bridesmaid, you tried on dresses, bought the one the bride wanted, maybe had a small little bachelorette party, walked down the aisle and helped her to the bathroom when she's wearing her big dress. That was it. AITA for not letting my daughter, 18F, pursue modeling. I, 44F, have a daughter, 18F, and a son, 15M. My daughter was scouted by a modeling agency when she was 15. Since then, she has been doing modeling jobs, including local ads and even fashion shows. She has walked in shows in New York and Paris. The money is minimal, but my husband and I put it all into a savings account for her college tuition. When she was a kid, she always wanted to be a software developer like her dad. She had stellar grades in high school math, physics, and in April was accepted into a prestigious computer science undergraduate program at a great university. We were all overjoyed for her. She accepted the offer and everything. Today, she told me and my husband that she wanted to defer admission for a year and focus on modeling. Her agency has been pressuring her to relocate to New York City because there are more opportunities/jobs there. I was adamant that she enter school in September instead of moving to NYC to model. I told her she would be wasting a year of her life when she could be spending her time getting her degree. She argued with us further and said that now she's 18, she will use her savings to move to New York. I told her those savings were for her college tuition, not for her to waste paying thousands in rent and accomplishing nothing. She said, "It's not like you guys can't afford to pay for my tuition yourselves." My husband thinks we should let her do it and start school next year. I am strictly against it. I think it will be a waste of her life and most importantly, I will worry for her safety. She is 18 but still so naive. AITA for putting my foot down on this matter. I agree with everything except them paying for her schooling. It's not a question of whether or not they can afford it. It is slight entitled if the daughter to just assume her parents can/will pay for her college. The money is hers, she earned it. If she wants to take that money and move to NYC to try and model, that's fine. I don't really feel her parents can tell her no, as she's an adult and she earned that money. However, her parents don't have to pay for her college when she has money saved up for it. Daughter wants to use the money she earned to try to make it in modeling, that's fine. But she then also gets to pay for her college when it's time. Too many people acting like it's the parents' job to pay for their kids' college. It's not, especially when the kid has a savings that they want to spend on something else instead. Honestly, maybe she'll be a really successful model and won't even have to worry about college or who will pay for it. AITA. My mom forced me to go to college a year early against my will, and even though I'm nearly 30 now and have truly come to see the wisdom, and you'll understand when you're older, about most of our teenage me arguments, it's the one thing I'm still bitter about. It cost me a lot, in more ways than one. Let your daughter model for a year. It's not like she's telling you she never wants to pursue her other dream. She just wants to pursue this now while she can. She can always go to college later, but models have an expiration date in the fashion industry, unfortunately. AITA. You were okay with it while she was a child, but now that she's an adult, it's time to put your foot down. She's an adult. There isn't a real valid reason why taking a year off to see if this takes off or to make some more money. And if it is a waste of a year of her life, so what? It's her life to waste. She has an opportunity, let her explore it. Write your opinion about these stories in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I will be very happy about it. I'm trying really hard.